Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Curse of Oak Island preview. Results of Muon technology are finally here and they point to an Aladdin's cave. The Curse of Oak Island returns tonight with Season 11, Episode 5, and viewers will finally see the results of the Muon topography survey that will hopefully lead them to an Aladdin's cave of treasure. Oak Island viewers first learned about Muon topography technology at the end of Season 9 in May 2022. In fundamental terms, representatives from Idean Technology placed a series of detectors in boreholes around the island with the aim of mapping the island underground. The process was described as similar to giving the island a medical X-ray, as it would reveal every void, tunnel, hole, and chamber under the surface. The technology has already proved successful in studying the pyramids in Egypt. At the time, Oak Island fans were told it would take 7 to 8 months to collect the data. But since then, the silence has been deafening. However, it appears the wait is finally over. In a preview for this week's show, Muon topography experts can be seen in the war room giving the guys a presentation. Muon tomography identifies a void under the money pit on Oak Island. The Muon experts reference a high-density anomaly below the money pit, and one says, "We think it's Aladdin's cave." Good news indeed. Hopefully it's full of treasure. Viewers will have to wait to find out the exact location of this anomaly, but if it's anywhere near the garden shaft, then we will probably not see any excavation this season. That's because the Dumas mining guys have dibs on the area for this year as they excavate the garden shaft. However, the preview showed that the borehole drill team has moved operations elsewhere and hit a void. That is likely to be a fresh mystery for the guys to chew over. Gary Drayton finds yet another old artifact on Oak Island. Elsewhere on the island, fans can expect to see Gary Drayton continuing his search for artifacts on Lot 5. And of course, it looks like he's found something very old and very interesting again. The object in question appears to be small and circular, so it's possibly a coin. It's inscribed with the letters CKER, and archaeologist Laird Niven reckons it could be very old. It will likely be another puzzle for the guys. The History Channel has called this episode Muon the Horizon, and the synopsis reads, "After 2 years of waiting, the team receives the Muon topography data and learns that the cavity known as Aladdin's Cave may have more secrets to tell." The thick mist rolled in like ghostly fingers, curling around the weathered branches of ancient oaks. It was early morning on Oak Island, a remote sliver of land off the coast of Nova Scotia. The island's dark history whispered through the fog, stories of treasure, betrayal, and restless spirits that refused to let the past die. For generations, this enigmatic place had drawn adventurers and scholars alike, all in pursuit of the fabled treasure said to be hidden deep within the earth. But today was different. Today, the island would finally start to give up its secrets. After years of excavating, theorizing, and dealing with dead ends, the team had reached a pivotal moment. New technology had come into play. Muon tomography, a technique capable of peering deep into the ground using cosmic rays, revealing what even the sharpest drills and ground-penetrating radar couldn't see. The results had finally arrived, and they pointed to something extraordinary. In the heart of the island's most mysterious zones, far below the infamous money pit, lay a hidden chamber. The data hinted at a void so significant that the team began referring to it as the Aladdin's Cave of Oak Island. Rick Lagina stood by the control center, his eyes glued to the digital readouts. For him, this wasn't just another treasure hunt, it was a lifelong obsession. His brother Marty stood beside him, skeptical but intrigued. The image on the screen showed a rough 3D rendering of what the Muon scan had detected. Rick's breath caught in his throat. A cavernous space, perhaps 20 feet wide, sat some 180 feet below the surface, sealed off by what looked like layers of rock, timber, and possibly, dare they even hope, man-made structures. "It's really there," Marty murmured, unable to hide his astonishment. Rick nodded, the weight of centuries of mystery settling on his shoulders. "This could be it," he whispered. "The thing we've been chasing all these years." The rest of the crew gathered around as Craig Tester, the team's resident engineer and data analyst, walked them through the findings. "The scans are clear," he said, pointing to the screen. "This chamber is unlike anything we've seen on this island. It's large enough to hold significant artifacts, and its depth suggests it's been undisturbed for a long, long time. The room buzzed with excitement. Over the years, it uncovered tantalizing clues, fragments of gold chains, mysterious stones etched with unknown symbols, traces of mercury. But this was different. This was the closest they'd ever come to finding something truly extraordinary. But Oak Island's legend had always warned of a curse. 7 must die before the treasure would be found. The curse loomed large in everyone's mind, a chilling reminder of the island's dark history. Skeptics might dismiss it as mere folklore, but to those who had spent years battling the island's traps and treacheries, it was more than just superstition. Rick felt a shiver run down his spine. "We have to be careful," he said, his voice low but firm. "This place has a way of testing us, of pushing us to our limits." Marty nodded in agreement. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The chamber is deep and surrounded by layers of stone and water traps. One wrong move, and we could lose everything, or worse." Despite the cautious words, the pull of the treasure was undeniable. What lay within that chamber? Treasure hoards worthy of a king, priceless relics hidden from the eyes of history, or something even more mysterious, objects tied to the Templars, the Freemasons, or perhaps an ancient civilization lost to time. The team decided to bring in more specialized drilling equipment, focusing on creating a narrow shaft directly above the newly discovered void. If the Muon scans were correct, this could be the final breakthrough in their decades-long search. Cameras were set up, machinery calibrated, and each team member took their position. The entire operation was broadcast live, turning the once quiet island into the focus of worldwide attention. As the drill descended, the tension was palpable. The machine growled as it bit into the rock, chewing through layers of soil, clay, and gravel. Every few minutes, Craig checked the live feed of the scan data, ensuring they were still on course. The minutes dragged into hours, and as they neared the target depth, the chatter died down. Silence descended, broken only by the rhythmic pulse of the drill. Suddenly, the sound shifted. A dull clunk, as if the drill had hit something hollow. Everyone froze. Rick leaned in, his heart pounding in his chest. "We're there." The drill was halted and a camera was lowered into the shaft. On the monitor, the feed revealed the first glimpse of the hidden chamber. It was large, just as the scans had indicated, but what stunned everyone were the reflections. Glints of light danced across the screen, metallic surfaces that shone like gold despite the centuries of darkness. Chests, perhaps? Ornate fixtures? It was impossible to tell for sure, but the sheer scale of the objects hinted at immense value. "There's something down there," Marty said, his voice barely more than a whisper. "But it's not just treasure. Look at the walls." The camera panned, revealing something that sent a collective shiver through the group. The chamber walls were carved with symbols, ancient, undecipherable markings that seemed to pulse with an eerie energy. The designs resembled nothing the team had seen before. They were neither Templar crosses nor Masonic symbols. These were older, more primal. Could this chamber predate even the known history of Oak Island?